Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's excellent to have you here as always, and thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be relatively short by comparison of the things that I would normally put out on Sundays, which is our standard drop day. But if you look back at the channel chronology, you'll see that I've been fairly busy this week, and hopefully normal content will resume next week, provided that nothing crazy happens this week that takes up a whole bunch of my time. I'm a slave, what can I say? Today I'm covering the CRS Firearms mess, is the only word that I can use to describe it. And actually, before we go there, I would like to say that I don't know Matt at CRS Firearms. I don't know him personally. I don't know him professionally. I've never met the man, and the only interactions that I've ever had with him are over the comment sections of some videos. And not all of those interactions were positive interactions. But none of that matters, because when we see something that is wrong, I think that it is important that we call it what it is, which is wrong. And what's going on with Matt over at CRS Firearms is wrong. And I don't care whether you like the guy, you like his videos, you like what he says, or you like his presentation, or whatever it is. Doesn't matter, because we're all on the same team. And what's going on with him and our government right now are some seriously underhanded, damaging tactics that are completely unacceptable. So to rehash this really quick, because I really don't want to spend a saga on all the details, in a nutshell, there's a product that was being sold, and basically the ATF said, hey, we don't like that thing even though it's completely legal. Matt, at the time, before they arrested the owner of that company, who is still in jail and is still pending trial to determine whether or not he committed a crime, they said, hey, you helped advertise for this thing. You are guilty of conspiracy, and they picked him up. He has a team of people that have helped out with his channel, John Crump being one of them. So you can find updates not only on the channel, CRS Firearms, but also on John Crump News. I've talked to John Crump himself to get some updates on what's going on. As of today, Matt is out. He's been returned to his family, etc. He's safe, all that sort of thing. And it seems to me as though he's going to be getting some help here pretty soon from the GOA. I believe that he has formally accepted help from the GOA in his litigation efforts. So for anybody who isn't paying attention, these are federal charges that he's been brought up on, several federal charges. And to litigate a federal charge in court is an exceptionally expensive thing, which is absolutely ridiculous, but you can't rely on a public defender to do this sort of stuff, because let's just say that we don't have full faith in our government working against our government. Yeah, we're not going to throw too many stones at this point in the video, but what I would say is that these cases can be exceptionally expensive to litigate. And the number that I've seen thrown around is anywhere in excess of $200,000, and in many cases much higher than that. And for somebody like Matt, who supports his family almost entirely on his YouTube income, that's just not feasible. So it's good to see that he's got some help from the GOA. He's also got a GoFundMe going on that was started by his team. And I have also seen a little bit, and I'm not trying to tip their hand or anything, but I recognize some faces from the Firearms Policy Coalition in a few key locations. So I don't know if they're trying to run like one of those covert ops where they just show up and like pow to the prosecution or what.
High five!
I'm calling on all of the firearms rights organizations, the people who purport to be out there protecting your rights, to become involved with this case, because there's some downstream effects to this that we'll get to here in just a second that affect everyone, not just Matt. And keeping with that sentiment, the time that I would have used to film and produce a video for you guys here at the channel, I'm going to be gifting a video over to Matt at CRS Firearms because, again, as I mentioned previously, he relies on his channel for his income, and there's going to be a limited amount of things that he can do in the coming weeks and months pertaining to not only this particular issue, but his channel in general. And I know that there's a list of content creators that are also providing some content to keep his channel running. So whenever that video comes up in the queue, you guys will see it. I'm not an attorney, and nothing I should say should ever be construed to be the words of an attorney or somebody giving legal advice. I'm simply stating my opinion, which is my right to do. What I believe is actually going on is we need to go back a few steps. I believe that the individual who is running the business dealing in the auto key cards is what we're talking about here. I believe that he really pissed somebody off. I don't know what he did. He maybe banged the director of the ATF's wife. I don't know. But they want him, in my opinion. And they know that their case is so exceptionally weak that the only way that they could possibly ever win is if they got a business associate of his to testify against him as to his malintent for the said product. And that's why I believe that they picked Matt up, because they basically say, hey, you're not extravagantly wealthy. Here's a whole pile of charges that'll put you away for a long period of time if you don't defend it. And I tell you what, if you say these things that we want you to say against this person over here, then we'll drop all the charges. That's what I believe their play is, because having talked to several attorneys who will remain unnamed, as well as several people who work around the gun industry and in general, this is ridiculous, okay? The whole ex post facto thing, I believe, is still in effect. You can't just call something illegal, especially when you don't have the jurisdiction to do it, and then go after somebody who is working with someone while it was quote-unquote legal and charge them for illegal activity. That's ex post facto. You can't do that. That in and of itself is illegal. So, again, I think that none of this sticks, provided that Matt has a quality attorney to defend it, which is going to take a lot of money. That's all been stated. But I think that everybody needs to continue to follow this closely. You can do that at both the CRS Firearms channel as well as John Crump News. I have links to those down below so that you can follow those. I will be in contact with John Crump semi-continuously to get updates as they happen, and if I don't think that the coverage has been given its fair shake, then I will jump in and cover the situation as it progresses. I would love to know your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. Please sound off. Thank you all for supporting the VSO Gun Channel. And while I got you here, actually, I don't know that CRS has a Patreon account or anything like that. But if all you can afford is to contribute to my Patreon, you can only afford like one or two content creators, and all you can afford is mine, then please take the money that you would have contributed to me and give it to him. It's been well stated that I work with companies across the firearms industry, and while I do graciously appreciate the support you guys give me on Patreon and Subscribestar, there's another person that needs it more than I do right now, and I would much rather you give it to somebody who's desperately in need than someone who has multiple revenue streams. So, again, I thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you feel so inclined, then do so, but also consider that there are others out there that actually need your help. Thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Provided that I don't get arrested, blow down my door any second.